All right, so we were assigned the social aspects of communication. So our client is a 7-year-old boy with autism. So what I'm going to talk about first is discrete trial training to the parent. Okay, so what we've been working on with your child is a discrete trial training, and that's just more of a structured approach, and it works from breaking down a larger skill into discrete components.
Okay.
So just smaller components of a task leading up to it. And once that smaller task is completed, we will slowly add on. So what we're focusing on is turn taking. And we're just throwing a ball back and forth. So it'll be my turn, and then his turn, and he throws the ball back to me. So 3 of the main steps in this is prompting, modeling, and positive reinforcements.
Okay.
With positive reinforcements, you're going to want something that's tangible. Because typically with autism, the concrete, they need something more there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be something like candy or a toy that's really motivating for them.
He likes goldfish.
Okay,
Crackers.
so we'll set the goldfish aside, we'll set that there so they can see the reinforcement that they're going to receive.
Mm-hmm.
And then will say something, so I have a ball, and I'll say, watch me, do what I do. Throw the ball, and so that's the modeling, is throwing the ball, he'll catch it, and hopefully he'll throw it back. If he doesn't throw it back, we'll do hand over hand, and he'll throw the ball back to me as I hold his hand. And then once that's done, I'll say, good job, you threw the ball back to me. And he gets the goldfish's reinforcement. So if it's a toy or something, I'll give them some time and he can eat his goldfish and enjoy the reinforcement that was given.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that's done, I will then put more goldfish aside or a toy, and we'll do it again starting from the beginning. Look at me, do what I do, throw the ball, he throws it back, he gets the reinforcement.
Okay.
And this technique can also be used with different behaviors, whether it's something you're working on at home or something that he's having trouble with at school. These things then can be generalized into more areas within your life.
Okay. That kind of makes sense. I'm a little worried, like, what does throwing a ball have to do with speaking?
Well, right now we're just working on the social aspects. So the turn taking, we'll do that. And that comes into conversations. We take turns as we're communicating.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
No, that sounds good. He'll be excited about the goldfish.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Christine is going to be the mother of my 6-year-old with autism. And I'm going to be doing enhanced milieu training. So we're going to go ahead with that. All right. So enhanced milieu training is essentially teaching language in a naturalistic environment. And the most naturalistic language environment is essentially a conversation, right? That's how we normally speak and how we use language and speech to communicate. So with this technique, we use modeling. So essentially, I will say, my turn, and hopefully through my model, he will say, my turn when I hand him something back and forth. So for instance, you said that your son is really interested in trains, right? So we've got that wind-up train, and he'll go and he'll pull the train, and then he'll say, my turn, and take the train and use it. Then we can go up a step, and if it goes up a little bit more, so we do what's called a mand model, and mand is kind of like demand, even though that sounds a little rough. It's more like, or like a command, if that makes sense. So I'll say, it's your turn, like, do you want to take a turn? And then if he doesn't do it, I will say, your turn, right? And then he'll take his turn, and I'll take my turn. And we can build that up. So eventually I don't have to model it. I don't have to tell him that it's my turn or that it's his turn. We will work up to a time delay where I'll take my turn, and then I'll just wait and see until he starts to get the idea of the flow of it.
Okay.
And then with this technique, it moves up to what's called incidental teaching. So we're kind of moving through those 3 steps: the modeling, the mand model, so asking him to do it, and then the time delay, kind of giving him a chance to be successful. That will happen in a naturalistic setting. So we can use that with other types of things, like, I can't think any off the top of my head, but like, we're working on eye contact, we're working on initiating language, things like that, initiating conversations and stuff. Also, a huge part of enhanced milieu training is following your son's lead. So a lot of times with autism, kids are so interested and so focused on one thing. It's hard to bring them into something that they don't want to do. So rather than inconveniencing your child by pulling him into what I have planned, we will set up the room so that the environment is motivating to him, right? We'll have trains, we'll have all the toys and snacks and things that he likes, and I will essentially follow him around and make language happen as he goes and on his schedule.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, that all sounds like it's really great.
All right.
Thank you.